Hi, you're watching C.U.T.V and my name is Viola Day. It is April 25th on a Wednesday afternoon here outside the Parliament buildings of Ottawa. Today, gender advocacy groups and women's rights groups have gathered in protest of Motion 312. Motion 312 is in motion by Stephen Woodsworth, a Conservative MP, who is trying to change a 400-year-old law that determines who is human being and who is not. Basically, this motion will dictate whether or not a woman can have an abortion.
If this bill does pass, it's going to supersede the rights of a woman to have control over what she decides to do with her body.
And do you believe that a fetus is still a human being? Like, where do you stand on that?
I mean, I think it would be an interesting debate to have, you know, where does life begin, all that sort of stuff. But once more, as many organizations are saying, there's a big difference between like the sociological and like legal personhood versus just the medical definition of what is life or what is it to be human.
Do you think that the government has a different kind of agenda than protecting the rights of unborn children?
I think the government wants to criminalize abortion. I mean, that's pretty evident. It's just this is a way to sort of try to sneak it in and make it seem like, oh no, we care about the children. Won't someone think about the children? If you really cared about the children, then you would provide ways for women to feel that they can have a safe pregnancy or to be in situations where they don't feel that they have to have an abortion. And even then, it's none of your business. That's what it comes down to. It's none of your business. There's also the whole stereotype of, you know, only teenage girls get abortions, but oftentimes statistically it's shown that women who are already married also have abortions, who already have kids also have abortions, because they understand the implications of having another kid on top of working, on top of, you know, feeding, clothing, the physical and mental needs of already having kids. Exactly. So they know that, you know, I can't handle having a third or fourth another kid.
Well, a group from Ottawa that's actually organizing all across the country called the Radical Handmaids organized an action on the Hill against Motion 312, which is a motion that was brought forward by MP Stephen Woodsworth to strike a committee to determine when life begins, which is kind of a silly thing because we already know that he is an anti-choice person who doesn't believe people should have access to abortion. So, you know, folks realized that they didn't really want $13,000 worth of their taxpaying money going to working towards undermining our collective rights. So we decided that we were going to organize and fight back. And so folks are on the Hill essentially opposing the bill, but also opposing the Harper government's agenda, which doesn't respect gender equality and doesn't respect people's rights.
Why do you feel that this would be a problem, Motion 312?
Well, I mean, we already know that, you know, women in this and men in this country face tremendous barriers in accessing their sexual and reproductive rights. We know that, you know, if you're coming from a rural, remote community, you're already struggling to be able to access abortion services. We have women and men in this country who, quite frankly, struggle to keep their children because the child services spends more time putting their children into care than other communities. And I think that what we realized is that we need to be vigilant and we need to actually create a spark where people realize that the decisions that are being made in this house are not okay and people are going to stand up and fight back. And so this is about this motion, but this is also about hoping that this inspires folks all across the country to actually take action and recognize that, you know, reproductive health and reproductive rights, and I mean that both in abortion, parenting, adoption, the whole shebang, that we need to be vigilant and we need to stand up and fight back.
The baby in Canada, according to law right now, is not a human being until it comes out of the womb of the woman, which is ridiculous. We all know that what's in the womb is a human being, but it's, you know, it's by calling it a non-person, we in Canada are doing the same thing as what Hitler did with the Jews. They were declared non-persons and they were able to kill them. The human being is becoming so insensitive to the respect for the other, you know. But I find the greatest disrespect is in the womb. Because the thing is, and that's why I term the word aborterism. It's a combination of the word abortion and terrorism. And if you go, I'll have a website opening on May the 1st. Of this year called aborterrorism.ca. If you go there, you'll see all my arguments and everything and why I term this word. Because the killing of the baby in the womb has got to be the most horrible, terroristic act that there is.
What about for the people, like, let's say for the younger generation, like for 13, 14-year-old girls who accidentally got pregnant and they don't have the means, nobody's around to take care of them? How are they supposed to support a child? Where do you stand on that?
If you do research, there are countless number of organizations there available with clothes, with food, with shelter. People just aren't aware of them. But we who are in the pro-life movement, the minute, like on my website, for example, I list organizations that will help women. If they're caught in the very situation you just mentioned, I have a list of organizations that they can just have to contact, and right away you're going to help them.
Sir, I agree with you. I agree with you, but
the help is there.
And
the help is there.
In a lot of cases too, it's not always there. Like, I'm a mother myself. I have a 4-year-old child. I never aborted my child, and like for me, it was really, really difficult to get a lot of those things. And there's a lot of women, like Aboriginal women, poor women, who suffer and who can't access those resources, who get their kids taken away, and that ruins their lives too. So like, I can agree with you in the same sense, but at the same time too, it's really difficult to be a mother. And it's like, I just want you to know that, like, I do agree with you. I don't think, like, I think people should fight as much as they can to keep that child, but at the same time there should be exceptions. Don't you agree?
No, there's always someone out there ready to adopt. My main message is that that child is created in the image of God, you know, a God who's a loving God. Abortion is killing. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, "For the thief cometh not, but for to steal, kill, and destroy." Then there's a comma, and it says, "I am come that you might have life, and life more abundantly." God comes to bring us life. The devil, him, comes to kill and destroy and take our lives. So which camp are we going to belong to? Are we going to belong to the camp of death, which is abortion, or are we going to belong to the camp of life, which is life created by God, which is life? There's nothing more beautiful than life, and there's nothing more sinister and ugly than death.
I have 17 grandchildren. I think 10 of them are girls, and I believe that they have the right to make their own decisions.
So this is your grandson here?
My grandson Noah, and he understands what abortion means, and he understands that women have rights.
Why do you think it's important that they have the right to choose?
Because they're brought into a world that a lot of young girls are having babies nowadays. They're keeping them for 6 months anyways, then give them up for adoption anyway. Children are being abused, neglected, all over the world. I believe in women's rights if that's what they choose. I don't believe in just abortion.
But like having the right to choose if they want to keep the child or not.
Yes, that's right.
I think it's all about like continuing this dialogue in our society so that people think, yeah, you know what, if I get pregnant, it's my fault. Yeah, if I can't find a job, it's my fault. You know, if I can't don't have enough money to go to school, that's my fault. It's not our faults. It's their fault. They made the decision to not fund those programs. They made the decision to not actually, stand up for the things that real Canadians and average Canadians believed in, and so now we have to force them to. It's a government that's not interested in protecting people. It's not interested in doing what the state's supposed to do, which is take our collective tax dollars and run programs to protect people when they need protection and need support.